Hello and thank you. I have a two-pronged question. I'm wondering what possibilities might exist and what conscious alignments you might suggest for the specific time frame of November 8th, 9th, and 10th of this year, where the energy alignment is shown astrologically is that something is up, some door may be opening, something may be happening. And the second question is, part of that is, can you speak to, it's spoken that there's going to be a quantum shift in consciousness, dimensional shift in consciousness that the Mayan calendars speak of about 2012, plus or minus. And I wonder what possibilities are available to us there also. But specifically this November, very intriguing.
Well, all of you knew when you decided to come forth into this time-space reality that this was a particularly interesting and exciting time, because you knew that because of the expansion of diversity, that there would be more asking than ever before. And you understood from that vantage point that in the greater asking, there is greater answering. So you knew that the current, the life force, energy would be moving faster, which meant that in the faster moving energy, resistance would be felt at a more poignant rate. So that the crevasse between those who have what they desire and those who have not what they desire is dramatically amplified. It's sort of like a magnifying glass has been laid over everything so that whatever you're living it in a stronger way. That's why don't you find yourself higher in your joy and lower in your pain? Don't you find yourself, almost without exception, you could diagnose all of you as manic depressive, because you find yourself soaring at times and being so strong, such strong negative emotion at times. And what that's really about is it speaks to the movement of the energy and your vibrational relationship with it. In other words, how well you are flowing with the current or not. So think in terms of the canoe that we were talking about. When the river is flowing faster, and you are in the river, in your vessel, prepared to really go with the flow, you can have a glorious time. If you're still trying to fight the current, then you're not having such a glorious time. And so that's the easiest way that we can describe all of that. The energy alignments are all more individual than anyone knows. And what we mean by that is you have your unique relationship with source energy and a guidance system that lets you know how in alignment with it you are. And we are not very excited about speaking to specific times that cause people to resist and worry, because we would say to you that you will not be able to feel any difference between the days and weeks, even months before these windows are supposed to be open and when those windows are open, because they are not small windows. They are large vibrational windows. And all of you who are part of this time-space reality have sort of adjusted to the energy. But even having said that, this alignment with energy is a very personal thing. Esther and Jerry had dinner with a new friend in California recently who brought another friend along. And so they did not know the man who was there, but as they engaged over dinner, they became aware that he is very interested in energy. In fact, he has made it his life's work. And he talked a lot about his deliberate flowing of energy. And much of it was words that Esther did not understand. It did not really resonate with the way she is approaching life as she is learning it from Abraham. But she found it to be a very pleasant experience. But that night, she could hardly sleep. She could feel that there had been a major disruption in her energy. In other words, it surprised her. It surprised her that something that it was not unpleasant, it was just different. And then she recalled how she felt when she had been meditating even the first time. And she had that first contact with several moments where there was no resistance within her and she was wide open to energy. And then she thought about the night that she laid in her bed. It's the night that she would tell you that she feels that she really opened to the Abraham energy, where she visually saw what looked like a big purple freight train spiraling right into her forehead. And she could not move. Her body would not even move on the bed. The feeling of momentum was so powerful. It felt like centrifugal force that was actually pinning her to the mattress. And when it passed, she felt herself in a form of elation, unlike anything that she'd ever felt. Now, some would call these sort of quantum leaps, and yet we would say they were very minute energy adjustments. Very minute energy adjustments. In other words, this energy, you have to realize that you are physically focused on the leading edge of a expanded universe that has been in the process of expansion eternally. And so it always happens gradually and gently and perfectly. And the feeling of quantum leap is about the fits and starts that you all take in your resistance and releasing of resistance. In other words, you live in a constantly expanding universe. The rhythm of it is perfect. The rhythm of it is fantastic. The rhythm of it is soothing. The rhythm of it is timely. The rhythm of it is perfect, you see. But sometimes you allow it, sometimes you don't, so you have these jerking experiences that then you want to attribute to the energy that is flowing, and it's not about the energy that is flowing, it's about your relationship to the energy that is flowing. Makes sense to you? So, what is being predicted here, we do not think is inaccurate. We just are looking at it from a little different vantage point. And we would say that the reason for it is because as your worldwide attention is upon more and more things that you are pushing against, larger portions of your population are using more things as their excuse to not allow the energy to flow. At the same time that the very contradicting experiences are summoning. In other words, more people are asking than we have ever heard with this kind of fervor than ever before. There's a worldwide cry for individual soothing on so many different fronts. So the energy is moving fantastically, but these windows are more about individual opening to the energies than anything else. There are those who want to keep bringing this and a lot of other things around to the idea that there is an assertion that is happening and that now's the time, so let's just zap planet Earth with a different energy. And we say the premise of that is so flawed and backwards because it's what's happening on planet Earth that is putting out the request that is summoning the energy to begin with. So nothing's coming to you that you're not asking for. That's where this idea of perpetual motion comes from. In other words, your environment causes you to ask, you ask and the energy comes. Your environment causes you to ask, you ask and the energy comes, you see. And so the energy is and always will lovingly come forth, and you can have quantum leaps if you want within it. We are not really encouraging quantum leap. Here's our definition of a quantum leap. Asking for things that I don't believe. And the more I don't believe, the more I ask. And the more I ask, the more I don't believe. And the more I don't get it, the more I believe it's not coming, and the more I want it, so the more I ask. Until I really get a huge asking going on, and I've really practiced a huge resistance going on, so I've really got a tension thing happening. And then I get distracted in some way, and I stop resisting for a moment, and boom, in it comes. And then I say, whoa. And then I say, boy, was that ever worth it? But I cannot maintain it because I've practiced the resistance for so long and I only got distracted from my resistance. I didn't stop resisting on purpose. I only got distracted from my resistance, and so my resistance is very likely going to come right back, and then I'm really going to want in a stronger way than I've ever wanted before. But I'm still resisting. And now I'm even madder than I was before because now I've had a taste of success and I don't understand why the bottom's dropping out of everything. I've been teased by the universe again, you see. And so now I'm resisting even more and wanting even more, and now I've got that same tension going on, and then I get distracted and I stop resisting for a moment and boom! I allow myself to receive the temporary benefit of some time of non-resistance. And so, quantum leaps are about fits and starts of resisting and not resisting.
How can you practice that distraction so that it becomes...
Well, we have the games that meditation is a great distraction because when you meditate, you quiet your mind. Rampages of appreciation, you can't appreciate something and worry about something at the same time. So whatever you're giving your attention to is what's active in your vibration. So we talk about playing the game of virtual reality where you are painting a scene in your mind for no other reason than when you get there you always feel good. In other words, picking and choosing from reality or from memory, from past, present, or even speculating in the future, things that feel good, and letting the way you feel matter. A lovely woman said to us one time not so long ago, "Abraham, I'm just not comfortable in my skin." And we loved the words that she offered because what she was describing was a very subtle awareness that her thoughts were not lining up with her own desires. The other night, Esther was watching a television program. Jerry had gone to sleep. And they were in the motor coach, and the curtains were all drawn. It was nighttime, and Esther is lying on the sofa watching the big screen that drops down from the ceiling, and she was sort of enjoying the privacy of the moment, and she was watching a home and garden program, watching them plant plants and feeling very productive while they were doing all the work and enjoying it. And then another program came on that was a program she likes to watch called Extreme Homes. And these homes were all sort of buried in the ground. They had very little windows or very little light in them, and they were really amazing how they'd been built. But as Esther is watching the program, suddenly she realized that she was having a hard time breathing. And she thought, this is really ridiculous. Nothing has changed in my environment. All that has happened is something that I've tapped into here, something that I'm watching has triggered something that has gone further than making me uncomfortable in my skin. It is actually making me feel like I do not have enough oxygen. And then she thought, maybe I'll wake Jerry up and maybe he can breathe some life back into me, or at least he can distract me from the discomfort that I'm feeling. And then she thought, distract me from the discomfort that I'm feeling. And so she just got her computer out and opened up one of the last sessions and put her headphones on and started listening. And within a minute, not even 2 minutes, the feeling had lifted from her. And the thing that we would like all of you to realize is that everything in your experience is about your relationship with the thought that you were thinking. Everything. Everything. You have the facilities and the abilities, if you knew the power of your focus, to rid your body of deadly diseases in minutes. All you'd have to do is find something other than the disease to focus upon, or other than whatever was causing you to feel bad that allowed the disallowance of the well-being to begin with. In other words, what you are living and your facility, your ability to manifest is so much faster than you know. And that's this window that you're talking about. In other words, that is really what everyone is making reference to as they talk about the second coming, or as they talk about the harmonic convergence, or as they talk about the energy alignments. And there are endless, very clever titles that are given to it. But in every single case, it is an individual relationship with source energy. It's not about what collective consciousness is doing. It's not about a world event. It's that a lot of people will be having similar experiences, but in every case, it's about their individual relationship with the energy stream. This energy stream is so pure and fast and delicious, and when you are in alignment with it, you thrive so much. And when you are not in alignment with it, the more you are accustomed to thriving in it, the more you cannot bear not being in it. So much so that a thought about something that is not in alignment with what you want can absolutely take your breath away.
So if I wake up, my world will wake up.
Your world will. And if you will mind your business and only pay attention to your world, then what's happening in the outer world, what's happening in everybody else's world, will become irrelevant to you, and only those that are in vibrational sync with your world are part of your world.
Thank you.
It's always been that way, and it always will be that way. And we really, we are teachers teaching teachers. And the most significant thing that we want to convey to you, the greatest benefit of what you will receive from us, is this. You are the creator of your reality. Leave everybody else's reality to their creating. And when you are not sticking your nose in the business of their creation, it's much easier to create your reality. Don't worry about what others are creating. They cannot negatively impact you. This world exists on a platform of well-being, you see. And as you tap into that, it is our promise that it will be your experience.